Right, today we're going to draw isometric number 4 in Inventor. I see isometric 4 as one great big shape with a circle or parts of circles chopped off of it. So we're going to use, again, subtractive modeling. Start your part, start your 2D sketch by clicking the pencil. I like to draw the front view first. I'm going to click the XY plane. I'm going to draw a rectangle. When I count that rectangle, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So 9 across, 9 times 0.25, or you can just type it in there, 9 times 0.25, and then 5 times 0.25. And again, it's huge, so if you click this front on your view cube, it'll come down into the right size. That's all I need for the first part. So put this back where we can see it, sorry. Put this, finish my sketch, bring it back in where I can see it by clicking the home. And then I'm going to extrude, and when I count back, and it's sometimes easier to count on your multi-view, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going back. So that is 1.5 inches. All right, so there's our block. Now we're going to take that block and we're going to chunk some pieces out of it, right? We got to take this little half circle out of this top, cut it down. We got to take a little tiny circle and cut it all the way through. And then on this other side, we're going to take this like quarter circle and notch it off over there. Doesn't matter which one we do first. Let's just start on the right hand side, make this little half circle that we're going to cut through. So we're going to make a new sketch on the top. I'm click top to bring it in. I'm going to go make my circle. And I want to start the circle right in the middle. So I can hover till it's green. I can also use my constraints we learned to put it in the middle, but I might as well just start it there and not have to do an extra step. So find when it's green, click, and stretch your circle out. Now we know the diameter across my circle is going to be 4, which is 1 inch. So I'm going to type in 1, and now I have my circle. I can just leave my full circle like that. I don't have to chop off half. When I finish my sketch, I'm going to extrude this and cut it down through. When I cut the right-hand side, it's just cutting air through air, and it's like it was never even there. So we're going to extrude this part, and look, it even noticed that I got 2 halves because it's cut by the block. So we can just ignore that part. And again, we're going to cut. So we use the second one over on the output. And we want to cut it all the way through. And then say OK. And there we go. All right, so let's start with the next one over. That's the little circle we put in the middle. So we start a sketch on our front face. Okay, we're going to make a small circle. Now this one, it's hard to place it. There's no spot. So I'm just going to make the circle, and then I'm going to use the dimension to place it. If we look, though, the circle is 1 in diameter. So when I stretch it out, I want it to be 0.25 in diameter. And now I have to place it. So I know from the top, it is down 1, 2, so 0.5 from the top. So I'm going to click my dimension tool. I'm going to click the center of the circle, and then the top of the cube. And when I drag out and click, I'm going to type in 0.5 to make sure that circle is 0.5 from the top. I'm going to go from the right-hand side, and it looks like it's 1, 2, 3 in from the right-hand side. So then I'm going to do dimension from the center. But now to the right-hand side, I'm going to click that one. It was 3, so that's 0.75. Now I have that placed, so I can finish my sketch. I'm going to extrude that circle. But again, I want to cut, and I want to cut all the way through and say OK. And now if I look from the front, look, I can see my hole coming through. And now I have this little notch out of this right-hand side, or I'm sorry, the left-hand side. So I'm going to turn it around to the left-hand side so I can see the left, because I want to draw my picture, my sketch over here. Again, I'm going to get a circle. Now this time the circle starts right on the corner. Okay, the center of the circle is at the corner, and we're just cutting out a 4th. So start at the center, put the green dot, stretch it out. And again, we have to count how far back. And sometimes, again, it's easier on this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's only a radius. So to get the entire thing, the circle would come out here, and it's going to be 8 for the diameter. So that's going to be 2 when I type it into my screen here. And enter. And I have this nice big circle. Now, again, I can just finish the sketch, right? It's this big circle. All this in the air won't matter. So I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to extrude. Okay, I want to cut again. You notice when it cuts, all this air part just disappears, right? You can't tell. It didn't cut any of that, so it didn't matter. Oops, go back to the view I had. All right, but I don't want to cut it that far. I have to figure out how far back it cut. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So I only want to go back 1 inch. So type in 1 with my cut. Say OK. And there's my little notch. Bring it back home. And it looks exactly like the piece I have. So now you can save it as Isometric 4 and export it if you need to put it on a Google Slides presentation.